And welcome back to the Roll Call Podcast. Been a while. We got really busy. I graduated. We had our choir stuff we had to do. So got really busy, hard to record, and I didn't feel like it was fair to record while we had everything going on. But now we're back. This is a series we're gonna do. With our usual uploads, we're trying to get back into that. Where we're just gonna deep dive on specific teams. And with me today, I have Will, and we're going to talk about the Seahawks today. So the Seahawks is my team, the Seahawks is his team. So we're going to talk about what we think is going to happen with the season. Yeah. So the first thing we want to talk about is the off-season additions. So there wasn't a ton of additions, right, Bradley?
Yeah, Jadarian Price out of the draft, probably the biggest one that's going to actually cause an impact.
Yeah. I want to talk about the draft here in a minute, but the biggest one is just retaining our guys. We kept Rashid, Boye, Tariq Woolen left, K9 left.
Yeah.
Ton of holes that left during the roster, but I'm sure, Mike McDonald knows what he's doing. But yeah. Who do you think is probably the biggest addition? Through the offseason, not the draft.
Didn't have too many. So I'm going to say not necessarily an addition, but retaining Shahi is probably the biggest addition that we had. Running backs, as good as Kenan was, running backs are very expendable. And JSN is the best wide receiver in the league. He's the highest paid. He's about to have a breakout season again this year. So him being able to do that puts less stress in the running game. So K9 is not as needed. Plus Charbonnet is back from ACL or Achilles.
He'll be back in mid-November.
But Charbonnet being back and who is arguably better than K9. He'll be back. We also have Jadarian Price from the draft. And who's the other guy?
You signed Emmanuel Wilson.
And Emmanuel Wilson from the Packers, who put up pretty good numbers in the...
When asked upon, he did all right. He's not going to change the needle or anything like that. Helani, I'm not high on Helani. There was another guy, Kenny McIntosh. I don't know if he's still on the roster, but he was either a 7th round pick or he was undrafted out of Georgia a couple years ago, and he really, really impressed me during the mini camps and stuff like that. And so I think if he is back, he'll probably get involved a little bit more. Because entering the season, he was the third back behind Sharps and he's still on the team behind Sharps and K9. But probably what I'm most excited about happened after the draft. The Seahawks signed Cowboys edge Dante Fowler Jr. And he had an all right season. I mean, he's no Micah Parsons or he's no Max Crosby by any stretch of the means, but he's serviceable. DeMarcus Lawrence is getting up there with age, so I don't know how he's going to necessarily pan out this year, but we have a ton of edges. We have a ton of edge depth. Is that funny?
Edge.
Okay. But yeah, I'm really, really excited about this year through the offseason. What about, let's talk about the draft a little bit. So, not everybody really liked Seattle's draft. What can you tell me about it?
Seattle wasn't looking to make any blockbuster deals. They weren't looking to scout the highest covered guy, or they weren't looking to find a hidden gem. They were just trying to fill the holes they have in the roster. Did a great job in the first one with Jadarian Price, who most teams aren't looking at because of Jeremiah Love being in front of him. So did a great job with Jadarian Price. And throughout the draft, they just, instead of drafting superstars or anything, they filled holes that they had. They drafted how they should have. Makes sense?
Mm-hmm. Who do you think is... So let me go ahead and recap. I don't have it in front of me right now, but this is all from memory. So in the first round, it was Jadarian Price, running back out of Notre Dame. Second round was Bud Clark, safety out of TCU, I want to say. And then in the third round, it was Julian Neal, a corner out of Arkansas. Their next pick was Bo Stevens out of Iowa. And then I don't remember past Bo Stevens, so let me see. 6th round pick was Emmanuel Henderson Jr., wide receiver out of Kansas. 7th round pick was Andre Fuller, a corner out of Toledo. He had Devin Eastern, a nose tackle out of Minnesota, and Michael Dansby, a corner out of Arizona. So, out of those picks, what do you think did you think they went and had a decent draft, a good draft? How would you grade the draft?
They're filling most of that defensive about like the defensive coverage. So they got a safety, they got multiple corners, and that's the hole that Reek Will left. Even though he's not as good as Witherspoon, he's more of a diva. He's like the Stephon Diggs of corners. They went out there and they filled corner holes that they needed to fill, and they filled a safety, and then they drafted a running back, first biggest hole. K9's gone from the Chiefs. They drafted a corner, which is what they need. Reek was gone. Okada's not that good. He got an interception, but I don't know how well Taka's going to frame out. And plus that, they have very little corner depth. So they got, what is that?
They drafted
three corners, one safety.
So a lot of help on the defensive side of the ball, which is their strongest strength by far. What would you grade the draft? Because I have a grade in my head.
It's nothing special. I'm thinking a B- or a B.
I was thinking C plus B minus. So my entire thing, I am a Seahawks fan, by the way, as you tell by the jersey. My biggest thing with the Seahawks was they overdrafted a lot of their players. Jadarian Price was a late second round guy. Bud Clark was a third or fourth round guy. Julian Neal, that was probably their first pick they took as a at where they were supposed to. They overdrafted pretty much all their seventh rounders. I really, really did like the Andre Fuller pick. Very unsung hero on that Toledo team, where most of the attention was Emmanuel McDowell-Warren, that safety that got drafted in the second round, I believe, to the Browns. Could be wrong there, but there are good pieces on this draft. Bud Clark is a ball hawk, but everybody hates the Jadarian Price pick, and I'm not extremely high on it, but when your biggest need was a running back, you were entering the year and your starting running backs were going to be Emmanuel Wilson, Kenny McIntosh, and George Helani. That is not a good running back room. Sharps would come back in late November, early December from the pretty sure it was an ACL injury. So Jadarian Price feels that need. I don't think he's going to be a home run hitter. I'm thinking more of a Sony Michel type back. A back that I was listening to the fantasy footballers the other day and they said 931, 6 touchdowns. That I could see that happening. That was Sony's Michelle rookie year, I believe. I could see that happening, and that would be a good season for him, in my opinion. Bud Clark, he's a ball hawk. He's your traditional ball hawk safety. Julian Neal is probably my favorite pick in the entire draft. Really good corner out of Arkansas. You're getting tested by those SEC quarterbacks. So Julian Neal will probably I don't know if any of these rookies besides Darian Price will end up starting. I believe Julian Neal will have the best chance to start outside of Jadarian Price, just because there is a need there. Bo Stevens will compete for that guard spot. Even if you like
Anthony Bradford.
Even if you like Bradford, Bradford had a ton of lowlights, but he wasn't as bad as everybody says he was. He had a pretty good grade on PFF, believe it or not.
Yeah, but you watch the game, you don't watch stats.
Yeah, that's another thing. Andre Fuller, I feel like could be a really, really, really sneaky addition to this team. Everybody outside of that, I don't really know. Like the wide receiver from Kansas didn't really make sense when you have so much wide receiver depth. You have an AJ Cooper Cup, but you also have a
Cooper Cup.
You still have a Torrey Horton that was getting second round hype before he was injured a couple of years ago, where he fell in the fifth round, I believe. Torrey Horton, he will end up starting for this team before his contract is over.
Can't forget Jake Bobo.
Jake Bobo is awesome. So what would you say your favorite pick out of this draft was?
Oh, I don't know.
I'll be right back. I'm sorry.
The Andre Fuller pick, I think Toledo is a very undrafted place. And Toledo is not getting that many scouts, but to compete in Toledo, compete against the teams they play, that is pretty big. And he is a very good player on a mid team.
Sorry, the dog was making some noise.
I think either Andre Fuller or I think Bo Stevens. The guard position is where the Seahawks would struggle.
Yeah.
They cross to the left tackle?
Crosses. So your offensive line right now is looking like Cross playing the left. You have either Alamu Timmy or Jalen Sundell playing the center. You have Abe Lucas playing the right tackle. Realistically, I feel like he should probably be playing a guard slot, but then you have Anthony Bradford and I forget who the other guard is. Forgive me, other guard. What would you say your least surprising, or not your least, sorry, your least favorite pick out of all of this? Because my favorite pick is probably Julian Neal.
Emmanuel Henderson. It's not a bad pick, regardless. But Seahawks are so deep with the wide receiver, like you said. They have four. So they got JSN, Cooper Kupp, Torrey Horton,
Rashid Shaheed,
Jake Bobo,
and Derek Young. That's really what. Can Henderson challenge Derek Young for that 6th spot? Most definitely. Is he challenging for the 5 spot for Bobo? I don't think so. Again, and I'm not. This is also my least favorite pick. I haven't watched Henderson Jr. play. Henderson Jr. is, and it's not like I hate the kid or anything. I wasn't really tuned into Kansas football this year.
Their fans weren't either.
Yeah. But I don't know. My entire thing is I don't really see why you're drafting a receiver there when you could be targeting another piece of the offensive line. Because the game is won in the trenches.
Someone to learn from DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah. Because they didn't draft an edge. So I don't know. That's probably, what would you say your most interesting pick was? Like, what do you think are you most interested to see?
I want to see if Jadarian Price can hang with. I want to see if Jadarian Price can hang with NFL elite defensive lines.
Okay.
So I don't like. So Jeremiah, obviously he's behind Jeremiah Love the whole season. Notre Dame had a near cakewalk of a schedule. So I want to see what he can do, but one behind an NFL offensive line, but also facing an NFL defensive line.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. A lot of people are griping that he didn't really catch the ball that much. He wasn't really asked to. He had 15 receptions his entire college career, which you don't want your running back to have 15 receptions during your entire college career. But again, if you're not really asked to do it, what are you going to do? You know, the player I am most interested in is Bud Clark. So Bud Clark, he's a ball hawk. He had 17 interceptions through like 3 years. He was the team captain on that TCU team. He could definitely come in and immediately contribute, but he could also come in and be a huge liability because Kobe Bryant left. We did touch on the Kobe Bryant leaving. He left, so you have a safety need.
Who's the guy that left? Defense. What's his name? It'll come to me.
Boyamafe?
Yeah.
Boyam, the edge also did leave. My whole thing with Bud Clark is he's I don't know what to expect from the kid. Again, and I am a 19-year-old about to be college student. I don't know the game. I don't know the game like they do. But he could come in and he's definitely going to come in rotationally, like he will be a rotation player. So your safety room will be what? Nick Emenwari. Who's the second safety over there?
I'm not sure.
I don't remember who second safety is. Call me a fake fan, I guess. But that's our draft news. So let's talk about some over-under. So the Seahawks, their projected win total is 10.5. So I've looked at the schedule, and I want to ask you, we're going to say it both at the same time. Do you think they're going to win more than 10 games, or do you think they're going to win 10 or less?
All right.
I have mine in my head.
Mm-hmm. Do exact number, just more or less.
Under, over.
All right.
3, 2, 1.
Over.
Under.
Really?
So I could see a Super Bowl slump happen. No, I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs, but I could definitely see them. San Francisco taking a leap. The Rams are my Super Bowl pick. No, they're not. I lied about that. The Panthers are actually my Super Bowl pick. You'll see. You'll all see. The the Rams are pretty much everybody's Super Bowl pick. The Niners got better if they could just stay healthy. It's a really, really good lineup.
Yeah, Mike Evans not healthy.
Yeah. I see them having exactly 10 wins. In between 10 or because this is a really good line set by Vegas. But I am going to go at 10 wins. I'm going under on the Seahawks win total.
I don't think the Seahawks lose any less than 4 games this season.
So what, 13-4?
Yep, I think they go 13-4 or better. Seahawks team has barely changed. Kenneth Walker in the first 10-ish games was not the biggest contributing factor. 3 touchdowns on a horrible Saints team, had multiple defensive injury guys, does not make you an elite running back. It makes you serviceable. Next week, he put up, 60 yards and 3 receptions. Kenneth Walker, he's a great football player. He is a lot of, old Le'Veon Bell. He's a great football player, but he is not as good as he is. That is a huge loss to Seattle, but their running back room is deep, and they will easily overcome. Reek Woolen is a liability on defense. If he gets in his own head, if someone gets in his own head, he gets fried no matter what. You saw that in the Rams game. He started arguing, got a penalty, lost 15. Got sent back to.
They got a first down out of it, yeah.
Yes. He is a defensive liability. The Eagles can have him. Spoon is way better than him. Spoon put up better numbers.
Would you say Spoon is the best cornerback in at least the NFC?
Pat Surtain's still. No, that's AFC. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're probably right. Now, who's better, Surtain or Stingley?
I think Stingley's the best corner in the game.
I think Pat Surtain's.
No, he did. I don't know. They're neck and neck with me. My top 5 corners go probably Surtain. Yeah, Surtain's probably better. Probably goes Surtain, Stingley, Spoon, Mitchell. I'm missing someone. And safety. I really, really like J.C. Horn. So he'd probably be my 5. Him or McDuffie, one of the two. There's probably someone I'm forgetting.
Yeah, Seahawks. I think they'll split with the Rams in their against play. Split with the Rams, sweep the Cardinals, sweep the Niners. I think
sweep the Niners.
I think the Niners. Mike Evans is a veteran presence in the locker room. Mike Evans is not as good as people think he is, and it's going to be McCaffrey's injury year every other year. That's what happens. So I would not be surprised if the 49ers miss the playoffs.
I can see it. So something we're doing this series. I don't know if this is going to be the first episode. I guess it's posted. I don't know yet. It probably will. Something I'd like to do is I'd like to ask my guests one thing they want to talk about with their team. So what is one thing you want to talk about with your team?
Offensive efficiency.
Okay.
So last year, Jason had this big streak when he was on pace to beat Calvin Johnson's record, and that kind of slowed down towards the end of the year. Seahawks played strict. Seahawks did not play the best teams the first few weeks. But Rams was week. It was the one where
week 7.
Okay, Jason that's kind of an example of since they won the Super Bowl, their schedule's harder. That Rams team might have. If that Rams team played like that in the NFC Championship, they would have beaten us. Darnold can't throw 4 picks. He has to. And he did a great job in playoffs, but Darnold has got to stay efficient. I'd rather him throw 150 yards, 1 touchdown, and no interceptions than 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Offensive has to stay efficient. Jason also needs to be able to create space between him.
So here's what I think with Jason. He's not the fastest receiver in the league. He's not the most physical receiver in the league. All in all, he's not the most physically talented receiver in the league.
Yeah.
What Jason is, though, is the best route runner in the league. And his route running is so good
they call him the Emerald City route.
Yes. Emerald City route artist. You heard it here first, folks. The way he runs his routes are so crisp, and they confuse the defense so much that the team does not know what to do about it. Now, something I want to talk about this team is the departure of Clint Kubiak. So, a lot of people claimed that Sam Darnold was just a Clint Kubiak margin. This entire offense was Clint Kubiak's. And I agree to some extent. Clint Kubiak is really good. It would not be surprised that the Raiders win more than 7 games this year. And we'll talk about them later. Clint Kubiak is really good. So we brought in, I don't remember his name, but he was the San Francisco tight ends coach. And he kind of gives me Dan Campbell vibes. His offense is similar to Clint's, but it's not exactly the same. So I'm kind of confused on how this offense is going to change, because last year they ran the ball the most and they passed the least, if through percentages wise. So we got to find out what this team is going to do. But all in all, I'm very excited to watch the Seahawks play this year, and hopefully we go back to back, baby. So this is Levi, this is Will signing off on NFL Team Deep Dives, Seattle Seahawks edition. We'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.